It was supposed to be just another thrill-seeking adventure, a group of teenagers sneaking into the abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town. But when they didn't return home the next day, the legend of Ravenwood Asylum took a terrifying turn. What happened to those who dared to enter its haunted halls? And why do the locals still hear their screams at night? This is the story of the missing teenagers of Ravenwood, an unsolved mystery that chills to the bone. Ravenwood Asylum, built in 1905, was once a state-of-the-art psychiatric hospital. It was meant to be a place of healing and refuge for those suffering from mental illness. But as the decades passed, stories of mistreatment, neglect, and dark experiments began to emerge. By the 1970s, Ravenwood was closed down after several patient deaths and staff misconduct allegations. The asylum was abandoned, left to decay on the edge of the small town of Millfield. For years, the locals avoided the crumbling building. Some said it was haunted by the spirits of the patients who had died there. Others believed that something far more sinister lingered within its walls. But for the teenagers of Millfield, the abandoned asylum became a symbol of fear and fascination, a place to test their courage and seek adventure. On a chilly autumn night in 1992, a group of 5 teenagers, Jake, Emily, Matt, Lisa, and Brian, decided to sneak into Ravenwood Asylum. It was a dare, a test of bravery that had become a rite of passage for the kids of Millfield. Armed with flashlights and a camcorder, they set out to explore the abandoned building, hoping to catch a glimpse of the rumored ghosts or capture something creepy on tape. The group was excited, laughing and joking as they made their way through the overgrown grounds to the entrance of the asylum. The door creaked open, and they stepped inside, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. The interior was cold and damp, the walls covered in peeling paint and graffiti. The air was thick with the smell of mold and decay. As they ventured deeper into the asylum, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. The laughter faded, replaced by nervous whispers and the sound of their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. They explored the old patient rooms, the decaying common areas, and the creepy, silent operating theaters. But as the night went on, they began to feel like they were not alone. At some point during the night, the group split up to cover more ground. Jake and Emily went one way, while Matt, Lisa, and Brian went another. They agreed to meet back at the entrance in an hour, but as the time passed, neither group returned. When morning came and the teenagers had not returned home, their families began to worry. The police were called, and a search party was formed to comb through the asylum and the surrounding woods. They found the teenagers' flashlights and the camcorder near the main entrance, but there was no sign of the kids themselves. The tapes inside the camcorder showed shaky, night vision footage of their exploration, ending abruptly with a loud crash and the sound of screaming. Despite exhaustive searches, no trace of Jake, Emily, Matt, Lisa, or Brian was ever found. The case became one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries in Millfield's history, leaving the community shaken and terrified. In the years following the disappearance, stories and theories about what happened that night spread through the town. Some believe the teenagers were victims of a supernatural force, ghosts or spirits of the asylum's former patients seeking revenge. Others think they might have fallen prey to something more sinister, like a deranged caretaker who never left the asylum. There are even whispers of a secret underground passage where illegal experiments were conducted, and the teenagers stumbled upon something they were never meant to see. Despite the numerous theories, one thing remains constant. People claim to hear strange noises coming from the asylum at night. Low whispers, distant screams, and the faint sound of children laughing. Those who dare to approach the building swear they can see shadowy figures moving behind the broken windows. In 2022, 30 years after the disappearance, a group of paranormal investigators decided to explore Ravenwood Asylum, hoping to find answers or at least document the supernatural activity. Armed with modern equipment, they entered the asylum and began their investigation. They captured strange anomalies on camera, including unexplained shadows and cold spots. But the most chilling discovery was made in the basement, a dusty old notebook belonging to Jake, one of the missing teenagers. The notebook contained entries detailing their excitement and fear about entering the asylum, but the last page was the most disturbing. It was a frantic scrawl, words barely legible. It's here. It's watching us. We made a mistake coming here. If you find this, get out. Don't look back. The investigators left the asylum immediately, too terrified to continue. They never released their footage, but rumors of what they saw and experienced have only added to the legend of Ravenwood Asylum. To this day, the disappearance of the teenagers of Ravenwood remains unsolved. The asylum still stands, a decaying monument to its dark history, and the legend of the missing teenagers continues to haunt Millfield. Was it ghosts, a deranged killer, or something else entirely? The truth may never be known, but one thing is certain. Ravenwood Asylum is a place where the past refuses to rest, and its secrets are buried deep within its crumbling walls.